Yeah, you can sit down. Just got lost. Sorry. These are the grandparents. These are Eric's parents, Renee and Paul.
So thank you everybody for coming. We're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to ask Master Rego to come up and say a few words and welcome everybody. There's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I think I got a little close, I think.
Hello? I appreciate you all being here today. For those of you who don't know, I actually had very little to do with today in terms of organizing the event. I was told not to walk through the door before 3:30. And so other than basically trying to sell tickets to get you all here and writing out checks for the venue and for the food, I was pretty much left in the dark. But obviously the black belts and my wife who got this all together did a fantastic job, and I appreciate you all being here very much. And I know that there were a few people in particular, Mr. Gardner, who helped out quite a bit, and Ms. Motika, and basically there was a whole group of people. I probably shouldn't name people individually because then inevitably somebody will be left out. But I did want to mention in particular my wife, Elizabeth, who really has been at the heart of this whole operation for getting this event organized today, and so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention her. And I'd be remiss if I also didn't take the moment to thank her personally, because she is, I may be the face of the dojo, and I'm the guy up front, but over the last 20 years, anytime you do something this long, there's always ups and downs, and she's been there for the ups, but she's been there for the downs too, the darker moments, and she's always there kind of quietly in the background while I may be the front and get all the credit. She's always been there, so I just want to let her know how much I appreciate her. Of course, I want to take a moment to thank all of you. Is this too loud, by the way? No? I want to thank all of you for being here. And the role that you play. I always say that the dojo is like a family, and that we're like a mosaic or a fabric that comes together. And no matter what role you play, whether you're a parent or whether you're a white belt who's been around for a few months, whether you're someone who was with us for a while and kind of have faded away, or whether you're someone who's been here since the beginning or nearly the beginning and you're still here, I appreciate each of you and the role that you play. You may not feel like you play a significant role, but in my mind, you do play a very significant role, and I appreciate that very much. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some of my teachers and mentors who are here today. And I had no idea they were going to be here today. And they have obviously been with me, before the dojo. They've been with me since I was an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid running around the dojo, tolerating my silly questions and hyperactivity, and they've been with me since the beginning, and more importantly, not just with me, but with the entire dojo, and they've been not only supportive of me as a martial artist and as a man, but the entire dojo family. So I should recognize both of them individually, Master Robert, who is the vice chairman of our association, and Kaicho Greg Howard, who is not only the most senior master of our martial arts system and the head of our association, but someone who's been a very, very close personal mentor to me since the very beginning. So I want to acknowledge them. Thank you. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my beloved parents who are here today as well. It's amazing to see, they brought me to a dojo when I was a little kid, and now I have my father bring my daughters to the dojo, and they also have been with me since the very beginning, obviously the very beginning. But what I mean to say by that is that, I didn't become a doctor or a lawyer or a cop or a teacher. I had this crazy idea of trying to be a martial artist, and to do that not as a side gig, but to try to do that as a lifestyle, and to see if I could make it work. And they never doubted that I could do that, and they supported that. And so I'm very, very deeply, deeply, deeply appreciative of them. I don't want to go on forever, but I guess I'll just say that, 20 years ago when I started this, and I didn't have as much experience as I have now, but I did have a vision, and I didn't want our dojo to be just another martial arts class or a YMCA program or just another brick and mortar school. Yes, of course, I wanted it to be something that was authentic, in line with the teachings of what I was taught in terms of traditional martial arts. But it was always kind of the idea that if you were going to run a martial arts school big time, you had to kind of do daycare karate classes and sell black belts to 8-year-olds, or nowadays you kind of run a gym that looks something more like a fight club than it is the decorum of a traditional martial arts class. And so I wanted to do it the right way, the way that was taught to me, but I also wanted something that was bigger than any storefront location or mats. I wanted something that would make a deep and meaningful impact to our community and to within our martial arts association and within the life of our martial art itself. But I really wanted to make sure that our dojo was something that was became deeply impactful for the members of our school. And to see this 20 years later, I hope we're on the right track. And I look forward to the future as well. And so I appreciate all of you being here today. Like I said earlier, I may be the face of the dojo, but I've always believed in a leadership style that was leadership for service, not leadership to be served. And so I'm very, very grateful to all of you. And if you only knew the truth is that you all have taught me more than I've ever taught you. And wherever my sensei is today, looking down, I hope that if he's half as proud of me and what we've done collectively as I am of you, then we're on the right track. I hope you enjoy the evening.
Lisa and I are going to start dismissing everybody to go get food. So I'm going to come to this side. Lisa will be at this side.
Yeah, a couple tables at a time, right?
We're going to do about 3 tables at a time.
All right.
Yeah, it's in there.
And we're going to have a few people come up and give a few short speeches. So if we could start with Zach, if you could please come up.
That's a lot of people.
Just make sure you talk close to the mic, okay?
Hi, everybody. Is this thing on? Yeah. I'm a little nervous. Can you get me going a little? Sure. I know that the black belts haven't done this stuff yet, but I want to say congratulations to all of them. Can I have a round of applause for them? Just a little nervous, sorry. I wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Todiam, Mrs. Motika, Mrs. Rego, Mr. Garner, for everybody for letting me be a part of everything. Even though I'm just a blue belt, they treat me like a black belt. I love them. I'm never leaving. Is Master Rego around? Could you stand up for me, Sensei? I wanted to say thank you for all that you've done with me. 10 years ago, I moved here, and I was in deep depression. I fell into a lot of stuff, and if it wasn't for my mom and my brother, then I would have never met you. And I wanted to say thank you for everything. And then I fell in cancer, and you were open arms. You mean the world to me, and I love you. Could you come up here? This is a little gift from the Dojo family and me. So if you want to open it now or later.
Now or later?
Everybody? Do you guys want it now or later?
It's blue, huh?
It's blue. Blue.
I have to do the right thing and open the card first.
Yes.
Ooh. I'll read this all later. Huh?
You can show everybody.
There's a lot of messages in here, so. Is this child appropriate?
Not now. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, wow.
You could open it. You open the book and show everybody. I spoke to Cody Ann, and she...
It's a beautiful frame. Thank you all very much.
Good job, God, so far. That badge is with you.
Am I allowed to sit down?
Yes, you're allowed to sit
Maybe not yet. Here, not yet. Thank you, Ben. Oh, yeah, we're next. So a few people that are actually giving the speeches, we're going to go ahead and give our gifts now. After the speeches and then in between the speeches and the demo, for those of you who actually got a gift for Master Rego, he'll be sitting over there, so you can feel free to bring your gift at that point. There's a little bit of a 15-minute break while we get set up, so feel free to bring your gift at that point. And for now, Jim, if you want to come up here, please.
Come on, Jim. All right.
Come on, Jimmy. This is my husband, Jim, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. You better help me out now. Master Rego, you mean a lot to us. We want to thank you for everything. Our lives have changed quite a bit since we've joined for the positive. 9 years, I think. And my wife and I, we appreciate you very much. All the good things that we see, and everybody that comes to the dojo, their life changes for the positive. We've seen that, and thank you so much for what you've done for us. Happy 20th anniversary, and then we have something. Lisa took a picture of you.
Okay.
And so we wanted to give you, we wanted you to open this.
Sorry, I didn't have time to wrap. I've been busy so much.
Oh, wow.
Now I know.
I told you I have some secrets for you. All right, really quick. Mr. Sanfilippo, John Sanfilippo. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got the order mixed up. Jennifer. Where's Jennifer? So are you going to go ahead and tell your unique story for us so everybody can kind of understand the background? Thank you. All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Santore, and I'm really honored to be able to speak today about this amazing sensei and this dojo that has just changed my family's life. I think I could speak for all moms when I say that we want our children to be safe. And I think I could speak for all special needs moms when I say that we want our children to be independent. And I was able to find this for my son at Jukido Academy. My son Riley has been a member of Jukido Academy for 6 years. He started when he was just almost 9 years old, and now he's 15, and I promised him I would try not to embarrass him all that much here today. But our story is very unique. At school, Riley was a target. He had autism, and we know that kids can sometimes be cruel to people who are different. And so sometimes he was verbally and emotionally bullied. Sometimes he was completely ignored, and he was even physically hit a couple of times at his after-school program. So I was really desperate to find a martial arts class for him so he could learn to defend himself. But it seemed like every dojo we went to was just an awful experience, and the senseis were always yelling, and it was all about trophies and tournaments and kids like beating each other up. It didn't really seem like a good fit for us. So we stopped searching, and I just felt like it would not be good for his self-esteem to continue on with that atmosphere. But by chance, I met Sensei Rego at church at an event for our teens. And I was expecting it to just be all this yelling and, everything that I had experienced up until that point. But it was not that at all. He stressed self-defense and nothing to do with tournaments or trophies, and he was funny. He made everybody laugh. I couldn't believe it. Riley doesn't like yelling. In fact, if I just raise my voice even the littlest bit, he thinks it's yelling, and he would just get really upset at me. So this was what I was hoping to find. And I never knew senseis were funny until Master Rego. And then a few months later, we met Kaicho Howard, and we realized it was a Kokondo thing, but that's a whole nother story. So after the demo, I talked to Sensei Rego about my Riley and my dreams for him to feel safe and be independent and to learn a life skill that he could be proud of. And I wasn't expecting a miracle, but looking back, I definitely got one. He was heaven sent to me at that church that night. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we're celebrating him on the Feast of the Archangels today in our church, because he is one of my earth angels, for sure. One of the mightiest earth angels in my Riley's life. So he took Riley on, and Riley started private classes due to his sensory issues. And, he would tend to be in his own world sometimes, so the one-on-one was good. He could pull him right out. And he picked just the greatest partners for him, and some of them are here tonight. And I have to give a shout out to Mr. Drew Dance, Mr. Andrew Jameson, and Evan Jameson. Thank you three. They're the terrific trio, and you're on my heart always. You'll never, ever be forgotten. You're always a part of Riley's story, no matter where you guys go in the future. Sorry, I have so much. So Sensei gradually introduced Riley to new people and new techniques, and eventually group classes. And on a side note, as a public school teacher, we call this scaffolding. And Sensei Rego just did this naturally. He totally got it, and it worked for Riley. And Riley realized really early on how valuable his training was. Because just a few months into his training, he was in the cafeteria at school, and a kid wanted him to get out of his seat. And Riley said no, and he tried to pull him out of his seat. And Riley used out and free. And he was able to just escape that, and the kid went back at him, and he did out and free again, and eventually a staff member saw what was happening and intervened. So Riley realized that this is not how people are supposed to be treated. He was learning the Jukido code, the Bushido code, and I think it just gave him the confidence to hold his head up and to keep at it. So over time, Riley had more and more experiences that not only made him feel safe, but also be independent. I'll never forget his first beach shugyo. I thought this was going to be a disaster, but Sensei Rego convinced me, that he should give it a try, and he could always sit out if he wanted to. And for a kid with sensory issues, it was dark, it was windy and cold, and here we are at the beach, and he gets out there and he gets wet. His clothes are sticking to him. There's sand in his hair. And at one point he was thrown and he got the wind knocked out of him. And I ran over to him as mom. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, oh, maybe just a little bit of water. I'm like, okay, you want to go now? And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? Who's this kid? And he went right back out there, and then by the end of it, he's like grinning and dragging Drew Dance into the ocean. It was just amazing. It was so great. But on a serious note, a sad reality for a lot of special needs parents is the thought of what will happen to their children once they're gone. And I was reflecting on this recently, spent many countless hours on this in the early days, but I've learned that I really don't need to worry about that anymore, because not only is Riley very independent, but he has his family, but he also has this family. And I think Zach said it very well, that this is a dojo family. I know he will always have Master Rego and Mrs. Rego, and he'll always have, Evan and Andrew and Drew and Lisa and Jim and Brandy and Terry and Monica and Zach and Jason and Roland and all of you. You all have each other, and it's just so beautiful to see you rally around each other. So for those of you who don't really know my Riley very well yet, I know he's just starting to break into adult classes a little bit more. He's super shy, and so if you're shy, don't be afraid, because he's shyer than pretty much anyone else I've ever met. But just drag him into your world, pull him in, and he could work on Teusch with you. That's one of his good throws. I have that on good authority, right? And you'll discover just the funny, kind, dedicated person that Riley really is. And that's all because of the culture that Master Rego has established at this dojo. And it is truly a comfort to me to know that you are a family and that you will be there for him no matter what happens in my life or in his life. I don't have to let that fear batter at my peace anymore. So, in closing, a few months ago, I told Master Rego that I was writing a book about Riley's journey. And I started it a long time ago, and it's not finished. It's called Dreams for My Son, but I wanted to print the chapter I wrote about Master Rego. It's called Gentle Warrior, and I wanted to give that to you tonight, Master Rego. So if you'll come on up one more time. Forever strong, forever family. We love you.
Oh, thank you.
Master Robert, I bet he's a little bit nervous right about now. There's so much I could say about Master Rego, but I'll keep it brief and to the point. First and foremost, thank you for everything you do to help make each of us a better version of ourselves each day. You have shown us that we are far more capable than we know. Your patience and ability to articulate techniques never ceases to amaze me. I want to thank your wife, Liz, your beautiful daughters, Lily and Gia, for allowing us to rent you on a regular basis. I know without their love and support, we likely wouldn't be here today. Sensei, I'd like you to take a moment and take a look around at all the people here today. You are the reason we're gathered here to celebrate. And without you, none of us would have had the opportunity to know one another. Each class, every seminar we've attended has allowed us to develop friendships and build lasting bonds with people we otherwise never would have met. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. About 10 years ago, a close colleague of mine shared with me a speech that he had given to a graduating class at the University of Florida. I have a copy of that very speech hanging on my wall, and I've read it dozens of times. Until recently, I was reading it, and I realized it was fitting that I share it with you all today, as it reminded me of Master Rego. It's called The Tenets for Success. All of us have different talents, different desires, different faculties. I will be myself. I will be humble, but I will not hide my talents. To be what I am and to become what I am capable of becoming is one secret to a happy life. Life is a game with few players and many spectators. The more I hustle, the more I can achieve. If I am silent, I may be forgotten. If I do not advance, I may fall back. I know that I must act or be acted upon. When I win, the fruits of victory are mine. And when I am defeated, I have learned valuable lessons that may turn the tide for tomorrow. I will meet the challenge of the day with enthusiasm. I will know that everything that is between today and the end of my life will be marked by some uncertainty. I will examine my doubts and move ahead, knowing that with gusto and a positive attitude, I can achieve my goals. No ship ever lifted anchor and set sail without a destination. I know that I must make plans and establish priorities in order to rise above mediocrity. I will chart the course of my life carefully, adjusting to the winds of change and challenges as they come, but always steering my ship towards my destination. As Khalil Gibran said in The Prophet, "Let the best be for your friend. If he must know the ebb of your tide, let him know its flood also." I will remember and cherish the value of my family and friends. I acknowledge my own human frailty and treat my peers as my brothers. I understand the secret of correcting the attitude of others is to correct my own. I have heard my calling. I am blessed with special skills that are mine and mine alone. I will use them wisely and forget about wearing another's hat. I will do the very best I can, and I will know in my heart and soul that I am a success. George Rego, you are a success, and you personify our codes of Bushido. I am honored and privileged to call you my sensei, but most importantly, I'm blessed to call you my dear friend. All of us wish you continued success through the years to come and look forward to the continued journey we share. Luz.
Those are some tough acts to follow. When Elizabeth asked me about giving a speech today, of course I said yes. After all, there are so many things that I could say on the dojo's 20th birthday. I could talk about what a privilege it's been to be a part of so much of the last 16 years of that 20. I could talk about how much I've learned from Master Rego to pursue passion relentlessly, demand excellence, raise others up, believe in a cause greater than yourself, commitment, discipline, and perseverance. The problem obviously wasn't having enough to say, it's having way too much to say. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I say that's different? What perspective do I have that's unique? Well, maybe a cop now, but at the end of the day, what I really am is a huge nerd. So I'm going to talk about syntax and semantics today. When you're talking about language, syntax refers to its architecture, the grammatical structure, how words and phrases link together to create coherent sentences. Semantics, on the other hand, is the meaning that emerges from syntax. When I say syntax results in coherent sentences, semantics is what that coherence refers to. Words join together to form phrases, then sentences, paragraphs, and entire essays. The point of all of this is to express an idea. Unless you're a bloody postmodernist, but we're not going to talk about them. Syntax is logical. It follows set rules. Pivot here, strike here, bend your knees, pull, etc. Semantics is magical. It is what is called an emergent phenomena, meaning emerges organically from syntax. It works the same way in the dojo. By definition, anything you say in Jukido is more than the sum of its parts. I think I can illustrate this idea better by referring to the three principles, any one of the three. So let's take Jushin. I know most of us have had the experience of trying to explain Jushin to someone new. So you say, it means center line. And what do you mean when you say center line? It's a translation of a translation. It's a translation of the Japanese, of course, but the Japanese is a translation to a translation of the physical. And that's why inevitably you end up saying, here, let me show you. And you're doing a cross-wrist grab to them. You're putting the technique on Jushin. And at that point, you've got the words and you've got the punctuation. You're stringing it together. And when everything aligns, that's semantics. That's meaning. Because I'm a nerd, I'd call that one hell of an emergent phenomenon. Now, imagine what you're trying to explain that way is the entire art, and that's what Master Rego did. You know, that's why we're all here. Now, there's a level of practical utility you can get to pretty quickly when you start studying a new language. Hello, my name is Evan. How are you? Where's the grocery store? I'm hungry. It's not as if you understand the syntax of this new language. You only know that if you say to a native speaker, mat, dog, sit, they look at you like you have two heads. But if you say bathroom where, it's close enough to work. In the same way, a white belt doesn't know why certain strings of action achieve results and others don't, just that they do. Most people that study another language, they never get past this parroting the syntax to achieve a meaning they don't really understand. I lived in Korea for a year and never got past that point. I could introduce myself, apologize for my crappy language skills, and consistently order the spiciest thing on the menu. So all of that is to say, the crazy thing is, I'm here in an entire room of people who speak Jukido. Not just parrot meaning with rehearsed syntax, but speak it well, speak it fluently, and say things that Master Rego didn't teach us to say. That's hard to wrap my mind around. And that's what I wanted to say to you guys. Just this, that I'm looking around at a room full of people who speak this language. And I'm trying to imagine what that must have been like 20 years ago, traveling thousands of miles away from any other speakers of your language. It's hard to imagine the kind of confidence and vision that takes, the faith in your art, the willingness to share your gift, the courage to step into the unknown and begin from scratch. So it's ironic, this speech being in English, because anything I say about Jukido, it's all in translation, right? I wasn't part of the demo planning, but what those guys are going to be doing, that's the real speech, in my opinion. This is just in translation. Thank you.
Okay, the two big guys. And I would like to give them another round of applause. For those of you who don't know, they flew in from Connecticut just for this specific event. So it really was quite the surprise. And so thank you. And Master Robert, if you could please come up.
Thank you, everyone, and especially to Liz, Gia, Lily, and all Master Rego students, past and present, for supporting my friend in his remarkable accomplishment. 20 years, buddy. Can you believe it? And thank God, only 8 years have been spent with Mr. John Sanfilippo. I propose that we spend some time at the end of the celebration roasting John. Any takers? I do need a dais. Oh, John. A little nervous, I see. Well, I'm certain that nervousness pales in comparison to a 16-year-old young man leaving a vibrant area of New England to further interconnect his journey in the brutal yet eloquent art of Jukido Jujitsu. Jukido is a complicated course of the art of the ancients, joining together to tell a complicated story, one that has been handed down from generation to generation, from pseudo-sensei to Shihan to Kaicho to you. However, the story today in Florida is so much more. It's not just black letters canvassed on white pages. It's a story of you, tethered to your past, but always reaching towards the future. For the past 20 years, Master Rego, you have grown at every turn. You came to Florida to start something new with something old. And what you do so well is to illustrate that the more one trains, the more he or she realizes how much more there is to learn. There is no end in sight. What starts out as a physical technique used to protect oneself and defeat others becomes something more, devices to forge and polish the spirit. You have found your voice, and the Jukido Academy is your story. I am not a fan of superheroes. I listen to the nicknames used to address many of your younger students. Movingly, the children recognize and respond with courage, devotion, and commitment. I believe that many of the young bloods would refer to you as their Superman. And I think the suit may even fit you. In closing, both Master Rego and I have become very close over the years. We text and direct message quite often and at all times of the day. We discuss Jukido openly and honestly, and at other times it's just mindless entertainment. That's when John joins in. The other day he texted me, however, Master Rego, you didn't realize I was in the hospital visiting a family friend, a family member. I'm not the biggest obnoxious person in my family, believe it or not. Maybe in Kokondo, but not in my family. I had this cousin. Everybody hated this cousin. My own family hated this cousin. And then a couple of days ago, my cousin fell off a horse and broke his neck. Master Rego, that was when you were texting me. In my family, we referred to that as the Superman incident. Because like you, Master Rego, that horse too is my hero. So, Master Rego and many others probably don't know, for about the last year, I have been taking art lessons on drawing and so forth. So, I got something for you. It's the first thing I've shown in public, but hopefully you like it. I'm hopeful it didn't break in transit, but it's fitting wrapping paper. Maybe you can mention it. Frozen. Open it up. Show this side when you open it.
Is this legit?
No, it's legit.
It'll look fun.
Yeah, get on this side. Yep. Oh. Like it?
Mine's on the back.
You want to turn around?
Mine's on the back. That's in here. Practice. That's a professional. You're welcome.
We have heard many great tributes to Master Rego this evening. They are all true. He is simply extraordinary. A master, even one as talented as George Rego, is only one person. 20 years of his personal growth is great, but not the cause of this celebration. The fundamental reason to celebrate is all of you, the Florida Jukido Academy Dojo. We reference a dojo as a building or even a room in which training occurs. Clearly, that definition is limited. A building not filled with martial spirit is only a potential dojo. Things need flesh and blood to come alive. The path to become a full human being is the proving ground for both students and teachers. A real dojo makes people safer and wiser. Throughout these many years, my greatest pleasure remains to travel to our Kokondo Karate and Jukido Jujitsu dojos, both large and small. We are lucky every dojo teaches the same techniques. Within that sameness lies the intangible feeling of a dojo. Each group has a unique aspect created by a combination of locale, students, and of course, sensei or master. Jukido ranges from the hard-working but laid-back character of Bakersfield, California, to the sarcasm of Master Martin or Master Mikasa's engineers. Florida has a unique flavor also. Your dojo has an absolute desire for perfection and a true seriousness of purpose. These are the qualities that keep you forever strong. You are never going to be a dojo fueled by testosterone-laden egos. The 7 codes inspired this academy. In other words, your dojo avoids the flashy, the ego-driven, the sensei's cult of personality, and all other types of nonsense. Your Jukido Academy proves its special quality with every class, video, or seminar. The technical prowess is always superb for rank. Equally impressive is your group's amazing spirit of service. You give of yourselves in community outreach with demonstrations and classes for non-members, like the very successful women's self-defense, and my personal favorite, the costumed Halloween, because I love those pictures. Most importantly, this dojo helps inspire members who are or will be the scientists, teachers, police, employers, medical personnel, and so importantly, members of our armed services. Clearly, our jiu-jitsu blossoms in the South. As Jukido makes you forever strong, you make Jukido a vivid and ever-growing art. And my gift, Mr. Rego, is a private lesson of your choice.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay. So for anybody that doesn't know who I am, I'm Elizabeth Rego, Master Rego's wife. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody here. I'm sorry. Sorry. So Master Rego, in his speech, he thanked me. So now it's my turn to thank him. A sensei's girlfriend is where it all began, teaching me techniques and telling me how to stand. The first of many black belts in the making. There were lots of tears, and those we weren't faking. October 31st was my first class to start, seeing my sensei pour from his heart. Class after class, throw after throw, who knows what the future will hold. A sensei's wife was the next step to take. Mrs. Rego was my new namesake. Helping with kids' classes was a rewarding dream. Sensei and I, we made a great team. Continuing on our journey and day-to-day tasks, 2 beautiful girls blessed us at last. Teaching our girls right from the start, seeing your face melted my heart. 2015, the year you became a master, a well-deserved honor for your legacy everlasting. Late night calls, emails, and such, you were full of great advice and unconditional trust. So now here we are, 20 years. Wow. Continue your passion and the love for this art. I love you with all my heart. So happy to join you on this journey of life. I am so proud to be a master's wife. Thank you.
Anyway, I think for those of you who have gifts, I was just looking at the time. We were supposed to start the demonstration at 5:15, so we're a touch behind. So I think what we'll do is we're going to get on with the demonstration now. And those of you
as a member of the Jukido Academy, us together we put up these little demonstrations to express the language that Mr. Evans Shearer, to show the language that Mr. Evans Shearer said that we were going to show us. Right? Us! Karate Kata, Kihan. Yoi! Right? Us! Hajime. Yeah! Yeah! All right. Us! Light up for Hiji. Yoi. Right. One. Hajime. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Right. Run! Right. Head up. Run! Hajime. All right. Run! Mr. Lynch, step up. Right. Rick. Push. Hajime. Eight. Eight. Right? Yes.
Go in my car, honey. Go this way. Beautiful lady, you're coming with me. Hey, Smoke, give me a first. Come on. Come on. Yes.
Right? Us! That's it? As an appreciation, as a token for 20 years that you've dedicated to our dojo, we would like to perform 20 tiles. Yes. As one of your favorite throws. So, as an appreciation from all of us, 20 tiles. Thank you so much. Rex! Us! Hi, Jimmy.
One! Two! Three! 4! 5! 6! 7! 8! 9! 10! 11! 12! 13! 14! 15! 17! 18! 19! 20!
Line up. Right. Us!
This is not the game.
This is not the game.
Nope,
This is something
not the game yet.
additional.
This is just our other little surprise. So, now we're gonna bring.
Yeah, whatever. Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a couple more to go. Oh, one to grow on. Get him, Gia. No. Yes! Nice. And last but not least, bow. And girls, if you want to stand by me for just a second. Master Rego has been talking about this since I've known him. So one last little surprise we have is his anniversary. So we're going to have Mrs. Rego throw Mr. Rego. He didn't get it at his wedding. So. There you go. You throw him whatever you want. There we go. Yeah! Let's hear it for the Rego family. Thanks, everybody. All right. Okay, and what's next?
Now I think it's the game.
Okay, and then that's you.
So now it's the game. That was really awesome. That was a great surprise.
There's going to be 20 questions, and you are going to just write on your board the answer that you think it is.
Pizza, huh? But they can't shoot. They got to keep it hidden.
Correct. Everybody's going to keep it hidden, and then we'll kind of turn it around all together, or you can say your answer after everybody's written their answer. All right, are we ready? Does everybody understand the game? Okay, everybody else, you guys can play along as well in your head. Okay. Okay, so again, who knows Master Rego and the Dojo best? What is Master Rego's favorite Ninja Turtle? All right, everybody turn their answers around.
Leonardo.
Leonardo is the answer.
The blue one.
So who, did anybody get it right? Did anybody get it right?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, we're going to keep going. So race.
My mother got it right.
All right, next question. We asked Master Rego the following question. If you were limited to using 5 throws for the rest of your life in self-defense and randori, what would these throws be? What 5 throws do you think he selected?
Only 5?
Only 5.
My handwriting sucks.
Don't cheat.
Do we get partial credit?
No.
Oh.
You have to get all 5 right?
Yeah, I think so. All right, we'll say no. Okay, partial credit is fine. That's fine. All right, everybody ready? No. Okay.
Oh, you want me? I should reveal it. Okay.
All right, everybody turn your answers. Okay, go ahead. You can say.
So I got, check them off, don't cheat. Teusch?
Yes.
Goshi? Yes. Goshi? Osotogari? Yes. Taniotoshi. Curveball.
All right, just put how many you got up there.
3.
How many?
2.
2? Okay, so you can just give them each those points.
2.
Alex.
I think he's. I thought I was thinking one.
All right, next question.
2 throws.
It's a multiple choice. So 20 years ago, Jukido
Hey,
Jujitsu.
listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Jukido Jujitsu was born in Florida. Which location housed the very first class of the Jukido Academy Dojo? A, the Belterre Swim and Racket Club. B, Alpha Fitness. C, the Flagler Teen Center. Or D, Wadsworth Elementary School.
Can you repeat?
The very first.
Very first. All right, ready?
Yep.
Reveal your answers.
What was the choices?
I got D.
A.
A, Belterre Swim and Racket Club.
I knew it.
Did anybody get that right?
Suck. No.
You guys are all demoted. I'm just kidding.
Back to pro shop, right?
Back to pro shop.
Fail.
Okay. Next question. Master Rego's favorite martial arts movie as a young boy was?
As a young boy.
How much I don't know.
I don't even know movies from when
Ready? All right, turn your answers.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport!
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Kill Bill wasn't out when he was a young boy. Okay, next question. In which year did Sensei become a master or 5th degree black belt in Jiu-Jitsu? Turn your answers.
2015.
2015.
Demoted.
On which date did the dojo hold its very first class?
Like year 2 and date and year?
The date, Shawn. The date.
Well, if it's 20 years, just subtract 20 years. But if you know the date, the month and the day, the day. All right, turn your answers.
October 19th.
That's it.
15th, yeah.
Did anybody get it right?
Anybody get it right?
You got it, right?
Yeah, Shawn got it right.
Shawn got it? Okay. What do the three
All right.
Okay. What do the 3 Japanese characters tattooed on Sensei's right arm say?
Be careful, John.
There are children here. That's the same as Master Robert.
Time's ticking, Shawn. Time's ticking.
Flip your answers. Bushido is the answer.
Illuminati.
Did anybody get that right?
Anyone get that?
No?
No.
Can we switch All right,
I'm sorry, sir.
It's gonna be a rough class.
which fact about Master Rego's childhood in the dojo can he never live down?
I know. I don't want to write that one if I Joe, a little help.
You're getting it hit right now, actually. Someone's dropping it.
It's an easy one. Oh, got it.
No, not shoes on the mat.
All right, show your answers.
I wore socks until I got an orange belt.
Oh.
Don't ever bring it up.
All right, what is Master Rego's favorite traditional Kokondo weapon?
We need more race time.
Sorry. Flip your answers.
Bow. Hands. That's actually the best answer.
Bow. It was bow.
Did you say hands? That's probably the best answer.
Right cat.
Who's winning so far? Well, out of these, all of these, are you doing these guys?
Shawn Michaels winning.
Really? I'm winning. The Illuminati put you ahead.
The Illuminati.
All right, Shawn Michaels in the lead.
Shawn Michaels in the lead.
All right. In what year was Master Rego the IKA Martial Artist of the Year?
Bob Longo Award?
Yes.
Okay.
Flip your answer.
2005.
One year.
Close, no cigar.
All right, multiple choice question again. In what type of club did Master Rego begin his Kokondo martial arts journey growing up in Newington, Connecticut? A. A. Portuguese Club of Hartford. B. The American Legion Club. C. The VFW. Or D. The Elks Lodge.
D or Steve.
Flip your answer.
B.
B. American Legion. Did anybody get that
What's
right?
the American Legion?
It's another.
It's the correct answer.
Did anybody get that? No. Oh, those three. Master Rego is known to be an avid student of all things martial arts with a vast personal library. How many martial arts related books does he currently have in his collection? It's a lot. Yes.
Can I put two numbers down?
No, just a reasonable number, Shawn.
Two numbers together.
Yeah. Ready? Flip your answer. 380. 380. Who had? What did you have?
No.
I thought get him a point.
John. John. He has half a book. 316.
All right, we ready? Are you erased? Okay. Our Florida dojo has had a strong showing at our annual national seminar for many years. What is the largest number of attendees we've ever had represent our dojo at the national seminar?
It's not half a person.
Turn your answers.
29.
25.
I had that down. You too. Same boat.
Next year we're going to break the
count you
record.
as a half. Us. They only count Roland as a half.
Who would Sensei say has the most distinct ki in the dojo?
Oh.
Hey, Shawn, give me the What did Shawn write? What did you write?
Shawn, man.
Give us a
Oh, that was weak! Get up there!
You want me to throw?
Yeah, throw somebody.
Throw improvement. At random.
No, Sanfilippo.
All right, Sanfilippo.
What are you gonna throw? There it
It's an exorcism and a key eye.
How many times did the founder of Jukido, Shihan Paul visit our dojo before his passing in 2009? Flip your answer. 6.
6.
If you count that number by 2.
Yeah, John, you got it?
Yeah.
Alex, got it?
What were those years?
Came in 2001, and then he came one day in 2001. And he was on vacation at Disney. Then 2004 to 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 6, right?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times in the last 20 years has Master Rego actually had to legitimately use his self-defense skills inside the walls of our very own dojo?
Inside the
And how long?
Inside the wall?
In the last 20 years, inside the dojo.
Some of you were there for one. at
Yeah.
least.
Us, yeah.
Flip your answers.
There's Shawn Michael on fire.
Mm. Good.
Hey, you might get into the Illuminati after all.
Was Ruben included in one of the muscle
That would number be way high.
All right, last question. And then we have a couple questions if we need a tiebreaker. But last question, if Sensei could give this one technical correction and have it stick with all of his students for the rest of time, what would that correction be? Flip your answers.
Bend your damn
Bend your Yep. Everybody got that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we better. Yeah.
You must have been on knees.
Your ankle.
Okay. So Janelle, Alex, and Roland are all tied.
Who's in,
So only, yes, so only you guys. Yeah? I don't know, we'll just go with it. All right, so there's a couple tiebreaker questions. So those 3 are the only ones that can answer.
Hold on.
No?
Being overruled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought we knew.
How do you like orange?
Did you not keep track?
Shawn won.
Shawn won?
Shawn won.
Oh, okay, Shawn won. Shawn's the winner. And we have the gift
Oh my God.
Little prize for the winner.
for the winner.
We get to keep
Yeah. If you want to keep it.
Set of steak knives.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Those are.
those are sweet.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's gonna be yours, boys. That's gonna be yours.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Seriously.
You're welcome.
There it is. There it is.
All right.
All right, good.
So what do we have left?
We're doing great, yeah. We're doing great.
So, do you want to do something?
Yeah, let's do the gifts now. So I just have one little housekeeping item. Somebody left it.
Oh, okay.
Zach, I feel like you, man.
Lily, come up.
He's right over there.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you. We'll find a good place for it. It's a little skeleton ornament. Thank you, Kim.
Who is this from?
Kim Fitzgerald.
Olivia, do you want to come up?
I made that for you, Sensei. Okay. They don't exactly face the right side, but it's your wife.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a card, you can read it.
Oh yeah, move to the side.
He made this 3D printer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you know that was you?
Oh, that's
you.
me?
Yeah, I bet there's more to that. That's him.
He's handsome. This
It's an idealized.
Yeah.
Don't you see the ponytail?
Yes, I see it. Yeah, I see. Look at that. Wow. Got to attract a little more. Olivier. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you very much.
A lot of energy in that, right? 20 years. 20 years of determination, hard work, risk-taking, 20 years of putting every ounce of his energy and soul into the Jukido Academy. There's a reason why we're all here today. One, Sensei Rego. Two, the love of Jukido Jujitsu and Kokana Karate and Shi Honorel's legacy. Our dojo has seen many years, many different locations, yet we stay forever strong. There's a bond that I cannot explain, and I don't think any other human being could explain in words that represent our dojo. And what I mean is the connection of family, love, and loyalty. When I walk through those doors, as well as many other Jukido Cup, I feel as if I'm a part of a family, something bigger than myself. And I know you all feel the same. And with that being said, together as a family, I hope for the next 20 years, we commit to staying loyal and following the 7 codes of Bushido, staying benevolent, giving of ourselves, and being able to appreciate every moment that we have to spend with our sensei. Because if he wasn't here, my life wouldn't be the same. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but the people I've seen walk through that door, if you stay, you'll never stay the same as long as you stay in those doors. So I want to say thank you.
Would like to take those home. So you may have to randori for those, but you go ahead. So please take those home. We are also going to have some flyers to be passed out. If Emily and Zoe, where are you? Emily and Zoe? Okay. Emily and Zoe, if you guys could pass those out at the door, I'd be grateful. So there's a beach shugyo coming up, so there's some flyers about the flyer about that, as well as there's going to be a little code on the beach shugyo for the December seminar. So there's going to be a discount if you attended today.
It's the December seminar flyer.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry. So anyway, the beach shugyo is coming up, so please attend. The flyer is going to be for the December seminar. On the flyer is going to be a code, and if you register, if you're here today and you register with that code in the next 48 hours, you'll get a discount on the early bird special. 20% discount, so take advantage of that. Also, again, just wanted to say thank you for everybody for their help, videotaping, helping with the food, helping with the decorations, transporting everything here, picking up drinks. Obviously, you know, it's not a one-person show, so we appreciate everybody that has helped. Again, family and friends, thank you all for coming. You know, again, everybody is loved, and we're so happy that you could attend. Did everybody have a good time? Is that it? I think that's it.
Thank you all so very much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.